through my story and to share experiences, to share what all pitfalls you can face if you really jump into the field of entrepreneurship. So already Matt has given a fair introduction about myself. So Policy X started in 2013, end of 2013. So it's been 3.5 years now. Started as a single man army. I used to do everything. So I'll talk about that in a bit. Today we are a team of 135 people, and we are a fairly mature startup in 3.5 years, and it's a completely self-funded bootstrap startup. So initially I'll talk about the challenges that we all face as an entrepreneur in the beginning. So while jumping into entrepreneurship, while taking that plunge, it's really difficult, right? Leaving your 9 to 6 job. My job was fairly comfortable. I was a consultant. I used to travel a lot. I got opportunities to work with companies like AIG, Standard Chartered, in countries like in cities like New York, Singapore. So it was pretty comfortable and well paying. But the reason I really wanted to do entrepreneurship is that number one, I had that business mind from the very beginning. So my dad, I am from Darjeeling, so he has a hardware shop there. So as a child, I used to always help him, in selling stuff, in converting customers. So I was really good at calculations. And in my professional life, I realized that I can handle multiple tasks simultaneously. So I think these few qualities are really required if you are really jumping into entrepreneurship, because initially you will really meet with a lot of difficulties. As a single man army, you'll have to look into HR. You'll have to hire people. You'll have to code yourself. You'll have to manage the finances yourself. You'll have to register your company. So there are a lot of challenges initially, but thankfully, over a period of time, you have a team. If you can build a team who can manage all of these, then it becomes really easy. So the insurance industry, it's a really difficult industry because it's highly regulated. There are a lot of problems because you have to integrate with insurance companies, and no company will do partnership with you unless you show them that you are really into something, right? So as a single man army, you'll have to create. I created 4 or 5 IDs to show them that okay, it's at least a good enough team. So and you have to do a lot of things initially. You can't say that you're a single man army and you can do everything. No company will tie up with you, right? So initially I took a space in a company called Jabong. You might have heard about Jabong. So Jabong founder was a good friend of mine. So he rented me one seat in their office. So that way, when clients used to come and meet me, they used to see a lot of people, right? They didn't know that they were none of those people who were working for us. So it was like really tough in the beginning to convince them to tie up with us, to integrate with us. And I used to do everything from managing, I used to code at night, I used to draft agreements. You have to sign a lot of agreements in the insurance industry because it's a highly regulated. You have to file those agreements with IRDA, you have to take the license and so on and so forth. But, thankfully from the very beginning, since it was a bootstrap startup, we were very cost conscious. So there are 2 ways, you can go into entrepreneurship. One is to get funding initially and build a team. And the second one is to slowly build a team by yourself, basically by funding yourself or bootstrapping or when you generate revenues. So the second one is a little bit easier. When you get the funding, you can build a team easily and you can actually manage everything very easily. On the first part, so I'm not very experienced on the second part. On the first part where I had to save every penny, I had to do everything by myself initially. That is where I can share my experience with you, how I managed those things, what kind of challenges I faced, and today with how is it different today than it used to be 3.5 years back. So when you really get into entrepreneurship, I think one thing that you should really focus on is whether you like doing what you're getting into. Because there were a lot of instances where I felt that okay, it's not working out, let's just quit. Because there are hundreds of things that goes wrong in a startup, and sometimes your servers are not working, sometimes